Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. I finally decided to stop procrastinating and get the second half of the review for this monster recorded. I did part one, and that was mostly just kind of an overview of the set, me explaining how I got my hands on the set, and looking at the figures. The figures were all fantastic. I have them all right here, actually. I've got my bag of Cabal, and then we've got Cade. We'll need them for some size comparisons and showing off of the features in a minute. But today's video is mostly all about the build itself. So this thing is giant. We established that in the previous video. But there's actually a lot going on. So let's just break this down in as simple ways as possible. So starting off, we have the engines. The engines are kind of what makes this a dropship because they can angle all over the place. And then the tail part can move in and out like so. Then the front section can move way up and way back, so you can get some cool poses. That goes for the engine over here as well. It's fully articulated, so you can come in at whatever angle you need to and drop troops down. And then the tail fin is the same way. You can move it kind of as far as that, and then as far as that. So that's pretty cool. You have hinges, so you can access the interior by this flap here. We'll get a closer look at this in a moment, but you can kind of see there's the cockpit. That folds down like so. There's nothing locking it in place, so it just kind of sets there, but you're not going to be swooshing this around and like turning it upside down, really. That would be asking for disaster. And then these parts kind of hinge open like so, and then you can get a good look at the interior that way, which is pretty cool. And then back here, you can lift up the tail, and there's like this little just hidey hole in there. We grab Cade. What you're supposed to do is Cade's supposed to like sneak in through here, and then there is a vent that pushes open so that Cade can kind of sneak through and drop inside and fight, or he can shoot this right here and drop the barrels down. If you pull on it, the barrels will fall. So that's pretty cool. That's the whole thing. Let me just go ahead and open it all up. That is the whole thing all opened up. It's not pretty when it's opened up, but I do like how much access it gives you to all the various sections of the ship. It closes all up. And when you close it up, these two printed sections form the Cabal symbol. And then down here, we're going to go way down. Down here, we have... Can I get in any closer? No, my camera's not going to cooperate. There we go. Down here, we have some landing gear. So let me get my hand underneath without destroying my camera. And that kind of just extends out like so. Goes for all of the corners. Drop down. They look a little flimsy, but let me tell you, they hold up this ship quite well. So then you can just kind of rest it on there like that. So now that we have it sitting like that, we can see the drop sections here. All of these open up like so. And that lets you see kind of the, I'll get the camera off its stand. That lets you see the interior a bit. And there's like little arms here that swing down. And that's where you attach the Cabal and have them like hang off and get ready for a drop, which I'll show you more of that in a little bit. But we turn it around to the back. The back looks kind of plain, but they went out of their way to give some nice extra detailing here. So it looks like it suits the look of the ship, pretty plain. But then we have a normal ramp here that comes all the way down. So let me open up the top. So now you can see in there. There's the front. Actually, now you should be able to, yeah. Look at that. That's so cool. There's so much space inside this thing. And then, of course, around the other side, you could already kind of see there are 3 more doors here. They open the same exact way. like that. So you can have a total of 6 Cabal getting ready to drop onto the battlefield. We'll look at it from above again. You can see the windows open. While we're here, let's look at some of the smaller details. We have a Cabal banner here, a screen. Doesn't really look like anything specific. It just kind of is a computer screen. Here's that vent again. You can see it just swings open. This part's a little fragile. It tends to pop off if you're not careful. Inside here, we have another set of displays. Again, I don't know if there's really specific stuff on there. It looks like maybe some sort of Cabal language, but I don't really know. But you could easily use that for pretty much anything. And then around this side, you have those yellow canisters and another Cabal banner. And I kind of want to get a view of inside to the... Yeah, you can see there's kind of some stairs right going up here, which is awesome. Like literally the entire ship is interconnected. There's no just kind of jumps of imagination of where you're going to end up if you walk around, except for in this little tail vent area. And then the inside of the floor, it's really well done. Look at that. Silver grate. We got kind of the silver stripe in there. The yellow to kind of warn you that there's a drop area. Looks really good. We have clips for weapons here. There's just so much space in there. So let me actually grab Cade, pop him in there. See, there's plenty of space for you to pose figures. Ah, the tail fin's getting in my way. There we go. Look at him go. That's so cool. Let me grab some of my Cabal, and then we'll get them all lined up in here. Alrighty, there we go. So we've got the two Cabal Legionaries all strapped in. You can see there's the clip I showed you earlier attaches to their jump pack. And so that lets them kind of swing out over the open air and get in position to jump down. You have space to pose 6 of them, though getting your hands on 6 is kind of difficult. I have 3, but this set only comes with 2. So you can fit a lot more than what the set gives you. And then if we turn it over here, you can see a Scion there. He's all posed up. And then behind him on the wall is the gun for the Scion that is all the way up here piloting the ship. He just has to kind of stand there and fiddle with the screens. But he does have stairs to get up and down out of his cockpit, which is awesome. And you can just close that down right over top of him. Perfectly fine. And let's see. Over here. Well, I just realized that's probably going to go upside down and look really weird. Let me just rotate the whole thing. This is barely fitting. But yeah, they're jumping out into combat. So there's a ton you can do with posing your figures in there. If you want to close the doors and just have them prepping for their combat drop, you can. If you want to kill this guy by dropping barrels on him, you can. Or maybe they're bombs. I don't know. But that roll cage piece is really cool. It looks like something that could go on like an Alien's power loader. But yeah, there's just so much going on with the set. And then the build itself was amazing. Ah, my camera strap is getting caught on the ship. This is an absolute masterpiece of building techniques. Like, look at this. The tail is all studs on the side here. It is a little strange that there's like a bunch of smooth all through here, and then this is all studs, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me too much. The shaping of the front is absolutely fantastic. Look at that. It's beautiful. We've got all kinds of detailing, like this little... I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's not a gun, because there's only one of them, but I don't know. It's some sort of sensor antenna. We have the Cabal symbol here. We've got all the building of the engines here. The whole thing, of course, is kind of a point along the top. These engines are built studs on the side, and the fact that they can move and articulate and just do pretty much whatever you want them to do is amazing. And it's honestly really not a fragile build either. The most fragile sections, I think, are like back here on the tail. The rest of it is pretty solid. You can just kind of pick it up. Hold on. Let me actually give myself a spot to grab it. You can just kind of pick it up from underneath. You can swoosh it around if you want it to. It's not nearly as swooshable as the Pelican, and it's also pretty darn heavy, but it's definitely possible to fly it around. I've definitely flown it around my room a few times just because it's so cool. And then this part on the top really, really gets me. Look at this. So they have the black stripes coming up here, and they do that using these corner tiles. So that's not print at all. It's all just building, and it looks fantastic. Definitely one of the most rewarding Mega Construx builds I have ever done in my whole life. This is absolutely fantastic. So now it's time for some size comparisons. Well, some rather dusty size comparisons. So here is the Pelican. And I don't know how this is actually going to work here. I cleaned off my harvester because dust collects so fast. It's not even funny. But I had to clean off the harvester. I did not clean off the Pelican. Get off the stand again. Okay, there you can see the two ships are roughly the same length. Well, the harvester's a little bit longer. It's also a heck of a lot wider. There's way more interior space. But they're very different vehicles overall. So it's not much of a comparison in terms of which vehicle is better. But I gotta say, they look so good side by side. The green and the red contrast perfectly. The fact that this ship is so big and just chunky, and you can tell it's a troop carrier, whereas the Pelican looks a lot more agile and like it's ready to actually fight, because these dropships really don't fight. They fly in, drop their troops, and leave again. But the Pelican is actually a combat vehicle. So that looks really fantastic side by side. I have them displayed up on the shelf above my studio together, and I think it looks amazing. Here is the harvester next to the detective's office Lego modular building. Look at that. It looks small. The building looks small compared to the harvester. Like, it's just, this thing is just an absolute monster. And these modulars are no joke. They're tons of pieces, super fun build, but I gotta say, this build was way, way beyond a Lego modular building. It's on its own level. We'll finish up with a couple smaller size comparisons. So here's the Warthog. If you kind of duck the gun down, you should be able to fit the thing right up underneath there. Look at that. You can just hide from the rain. So there's a Warthog. I'm sure many of you guys have this Warthog, so you should be able to get a sense of how ridiculously big this thing is. Wait, now I'm curious. Could I fit the Warthog inside? Whoops, I just made that guy drop his gun. Will it fit inside? Okay, not quite. It gets pretty dang close, though, but not quite. Let me close that up. Then we have the Wasp. There's the Wasp. It can kind of sit on top there. Clings on. And then last, and I guess kind of least, it's not a bad build. I like it. But that is the Lego AAT tank, the most recent version as of the time of the recording of this video. Again, puts into perspective a little just how much of a monster the Harvester is. Well, there you have it. That is the Mega Construx Destiny Cabal Harvester. The biggest Destiny set and one of the biggest Mega Construx sets out there. This thing is awesome. This is pretty much my favorite set of all time. My favorite Mega Construx set of all time. There's a lot of really close seconds. Like, there's so many sets that I really like. But this one is just on an entirely other level. The size, the fact that there's so much space inside, the figures are amazing. The really only huge drawback that I see here is the price. The price is no joke. You can get just the harvester itself for like 150 or more if you're lucky, which is not bad. I mean, this by itself is definitely worth buying, but the figures really complete the whole thing. And getting that is like 500 plus. So that's a bit of a downer, which makes this set not, well, okay. This is not really a set for casual collectors to begin with. It's huge. The build is really complicated. I've been building with Legos and now Mega Construx for, gosh, a collective total of probably 15 years now. And I had some points during the build of this thing where it was difficult. I had a hard time like figuring out what I was supposed to do and actually getting it to work. But it was a lot of fun. I had fun trying to work around those problems. But for your like average collector, that is going to be so frustrating. This is going to be such a daunting task. So if you're looking for a challenge, here it is. This thing is epic. If you don't mind your wallet getting absolutely destroyed in the process. So basically, that's kind of the bottom line for this set. This is a challenge. This is basically a crown jewel for your collection. And it's going to cost you a lot. It's going to require a lot of time. But the end result is absolutely amazing. Whoever worked on the design of this set at Mega deserves, like, I don't know, they deserve a raise or something. And it makes me so sad that the Destiny line ended and we didn't get to see any more large-scale vehicles like this. But yeah, basically, if you want a really short summary of these two parts of this review, an amazing set, but not for the casual collector. If you want a big, challenging build and you're pretty new to Mega Construx or you don't want to spend a ton, go get the new Pelican. That is comparable size, really sturdy. The build is a little bit easier. But if you've been collecting Mega Construx, you've been in the Mega Construx scene for a while, and you want something to really sink your teeth into, this is the set for you. Again, prices are ridiculous, but this is a really, really cool set. So I highly recommend it, but try not to pay too much. I mean, 500 for this feels like it would be all right because of just how awesome it is. Any more than 500 feels like you're getting ripped off. To me, anyway. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.